Hey guys, it's Gabby. What is up? Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new here. Today's video, we are going to be talking all about Black Friday at Lululemon. I feel like Black Friday sneaks up on me every single year, but I always get a ton of questions on what we can expect for Black Friday. So I made one of these videos last year, but I wanted to make an updated one since they did make some changes last year that I think we could anticipate this year. So I'll be sharing all of my tips and tricks so you can shop smarter this Black Friday at Lululemon. So grab a drink, get cozy, and let's jump into it. In case you're new to my channel and this is the first time you are seeing me, then I just want to give you a little bit of background. I am a Lululemon creator, so I create a lot of content around Lululemon, but also like lifestyle, fashion, beauty, so you should subscribe. But this is my 5th holiday season covering all the content at Lululemon, including Black Friday, new releases, Boxing Day / year-end scores. So I know a thing or two, and I was also a Lululemon educator prior to this. I've done quite a few holiday seasons with the brand, so I wanted to give you my best tips and tricks, but I thought we could keep this video a little bit more casual, more like a FaceTime chat and a cozy vibe. So let's jump into it. The first thing being, what is Black Friday at Lululemon? What can we expect? Basically, it is a bigger version of their We Made Too Much section. If you are new to the brand, their We Made Too Much section is basically their markdown section, in which they add new markdowns to every single week on Thursdays. Now, typically in November, they stop these weekly markdowns, probably by the time you're seeing this video, and they basically stock all of that for Black Friday. And this is when we can see upwards of 1,000 items across all categories, like men's, women's, and accessories. So there's going to be a ton of items on the site for Black Friday. Now, it is not a typical store-wide event, so unfortunately you're not going to see those core items like Aligns, Wonder Trains, Define jackets, scuba hoodies in like black, heathercore gray, true navy. I would also consider a core color. Typically those aren't going to go on markdown, with the exception of true navy. I feel like navy is kind of coming and going, but those like really staple items are not going to go to markdown. So if you're eyeing those for a gift for someone, I would pick those up now, because they always tend to sell very quickly during the holiday season. Everyone wants a refresh of, their black Aligns and Define jackets, which is an exceptional gift. Typically we don't see the new releases coming out now and jackets for Black Friday. Sometimes we see older jacket styles maybe come back to the website. For the most part, we don't see a lot of this holiday line or outerwear, winter outerwear, until Boxing Day / year-end scores, which is the day after Christmas. So if you are planning to buy any of those items as well, I would go ahead and buy them now, because they're typically not a part of Black Friday too. That's kind of what we can expect. It's more so those seasonal styles, those seasonal colors and patterns and things like that. The fun thing about Black Friday is this is usually when they sunset or discontinue a line of items. So in previous years, we saw the Align joggers, the Align wide leg pants, the Wonder Under Luon and Luxe Dream fabric versions go to We Made Too Much. So this is a great time again for those items. When you see something in black and white, it probably means that they are getting sunsetted or discontinued or redesigned, so that version of that item will no longer be available. So it's a really great time to pick up staples like that, especially if you love that product. Probably grab a couple of them. I'm really excited to see if they are sunsetting a style this year and what that might be. I feel like they typically do at least one style every single year. That's always something that sells pretty quick because they might not be coming back. And sometimes even for Black Friday, they bring back older styles. So in the past few years, we've seen the base pace reappear, the Wonder Unders reappear, things like that. So older items that maybe are stocked away somewhere, they bring those back onto the website. So again, lots of great finds, lots of items to shop for. And that leads me to my first important tip when you're shopping Black Friday, is to have a membership account with Lululemon. It is free to sign up if you have not created an account before, and there's lots of perks to them. The major one being for the holiday season is receipt-free returns, and you're able to exchange or return for credit for We Made Too Much items. If you're not a member, these items become final sales. So membership definitely has its perks, lots of perks to it, so check that out. But be sure you are signed into your account when you are shopping online, so that all of that tracks back to your account. account. And that is super helpful during the holiday season, especially if you are maybe picking up an item that you're not quite sure on sizing and things like that. Then obviously you're going to want to be able to exchange or return for credit. Okay, now let's talk about key dates and when we can expect Black Friday to go live. So last year they actually did a early access for members on the app. So I feel like we could probably anticipate something similar happening to that this year, because they've been doing a ton of early access release stuff on the app. I wouldn't be surprised if we see something very, very similar. So I would say have the app downloaded. If you don't have it downloaded already, I will have a link down below in the description to download it. And it really supports my channel if you decide to download it with that link. So thank you so much if you do. But also be signed into your account or create your account and have that updated and ready to go, so you are able to see if there's like an early access that pops up onto the app. I will also be posting on my YouTube Shorts, TikTok, and Instagram all of the updates as they happen in real time. So be sure you are subscribed and following me on all of my social channels so you don't miss these updates. But for the early access last year, I believe it happened on the Thursday prior to Black Friday, so 1 week before. And it was a smaller selection of their We Made Too Much for Black Friday. So it wasn't the entire Black Friday drop. It was a smaller assortment of product. It was still a good assortment, but it wasn't the full thing, which I think some people were maybe anticipating. So I think we could see something similar this year again. Like if they're going to do an early access, it's probably some like really good items, but just a smaller assortment of items. But I believe for that one, we had 4 or 5 days, I think, of early access before they shut that down. And then the full drop went online the Wednesday evening before Black Friday, so also before American Thanksgiving. I know the app is technically iOS only, so if you have an Apple product, iPad, iPhone, then you're able to download the app. But if you don't, I would say probably don't worry, because again, I would anticipate early access being a small selection of what we can actually see for the full assortment for Black Friday. And usually those items always carry over, or they have like extra stock. Even if they sold out, sometimes they come back anyways. So I wouldn't stress too much about it if you don't have access to the app, but do make sure that you have an account. Typically they only do one drop. They don't always roll out like new products throughout the weekend. Usually we see it kind of a one and done drop. So again, for that, I would recommend using the website, because it is going to load things, I find, faster and more efficiently than the app, especially when that volume of product is being uploaded to the website. I do find the website a little bit better than the app to use. So again, I'll have a link down below so you can like bookmark that and come back to it. Now, this does happen online and in stores. However, because of the timings when it goes online, stores are usually closing, and then it's American Thanksgiving. So if you're in the US, obviously stores are closed for the holiday. If you're in Canada, we typically don't see Black Friday markdowns on the floor to shop yet. Everything is basically ready to be shopped on Black Friday. So stores always have a bunch of markdowns in store that you can shop. Some stores even open early, so definitely check with your local store on their hours for that day. And usually for in store, they are grouped by like categories. So in women's, you'd see like pants, tops, accessories, bras, things like that. And then men's, usually it's like tops, pants, outerwear, accessories. I do think it is worth shopping online and in store, because sometimes stores do have more stock. If something maybe has sold out online, you might be able to score it in store still. Or sometimes they do have like one-ofs for markdowns. Maybe it was an online return or overstock that they have. And sometimes you can find some really great items in store too. Definitely worth checking both online and in store if you can. But I also don't blame you if you don't want to brave the Black Friday crowds, because sometimes it gets a little crazy. And a tip for shopping in store: in previous years and when I worked at Lululemon, they were doing a time limit on the fitting rooms. This definitely varies by location and like how busy it is, but that's something to be prepared for. Is you might have to try things on in batches, and you might have to, do a few rounds to the fitting room. Sometimes there's a long lineup, so definitely bring your patience, or be really selective on the items you do try on. Maybe if you kind of know your size, grab those items and you don't have to try them on kind of thing. Or I guess wear layers if you want to try on outerwear. I don't know. All right, switching gears back to the online portion, my top tips and tricks for shopping online. Like I said, use the browser. It is probably better than the app in terms of like glitchiness. However, technical difficulties can always happen. I always recommend trying to clear your browser history and cookies and then trying again and seeing if you can like pull up the items. When you're shopping online, I highly recommend shopping by category. So you might want to go into like women's, leggings, and then you're actually going to sort by new releases, and that should pull up the new markdowns first, hopefully, and then you can kind of see what is being added to the site. And if a color's not coming up right away, like if you see it kind of on the preview when you sort by new releases, but you go and click into it and the color's not there, you're going to want to use something called the cart trick, which is adding a different color, can be any size, of the same item to your cart. And then you're going to go in and then click edit, and then hopefully that new color and all the sizes will appear there. But like I said, sometimes it does glitch. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to load in, especially with all of that traffic on the site. Sometimes patience is key during this time, but those are my best tips and tricks to trying to score items early, as they don't always load in efficiently to the actual Black Friday section on the website until later. So again, I will be posting all of my top finds, my top picks over on YouTube Shorts, TikTok, and Instagram. So if you want like direct links, then definitely check my Instagram stories, because I'll be posting a lot of links there, and then again recap videos of top picks to TikTok and YouTube Shorts. So, but yeah, as for timeline, I would anticipate they follow something very similar to last year, so early access the week before at some point, and then the full Black Friday drop on the Wednesday night before Black Friday, and then in store available on actual Black Friday. And that pretty much wraps up all of my tips and tricks and information on what you can expect for Black Friday at Lululemon. I hope you guys found this video helpful and are excited for Black Friday, because I'm really excited for Black Friday. I feel like it really depends on what you might be looking for, but for me personally, I've changed sizes after having 2 kids so many times, and I would love to get a restock of my like ready to Rulu joggers that have been sunsetted and my Align joggers and things like that. So I'm really hoping they bring back some of these older styles, and I'm also excited to see if they are sunsetting a new style this year and what that might be. So there's always some great finds, great goodies to grab from Black Friday. So I'm really excited to shop. You guys let me know down below in the comments what you're hoping to see for Black Friday. But if you found this video helpful, then be sure to give it a thumbs up. And again, don't forget to subscribe, follow me on my social channels for all of those updates in regards to Black Friday, because again, they could switch it up on us this year, and who knows when things might actually go live. So I will be posting to keep you guys updated. But happy shopping. I'll have a link down below in case you want to bookmark that for Black Friday so you're ready to go. But I hope you guys have a great holiday season, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!